Wolverine's been going through a lot lately, and this series ain't letting up. Cause as it stands, he still has 3 broken claws, and his healing factor is nearly non-existent, with it only getting worse as time progresses. So now that he knows who took it, there's a race for him to get it back before it's too late. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, this continues with Logan, who's been out here for a while with 3 broken claws, and even worse, more recently, he's discovered that his healing factor is being stolen. And with the help of Dr. Cecilia Reyes, he now knows the answer to who did this to him, as well as to how they did it, because this whole time someone was using nanites that would teleport the unique biocompounds produced by Logan's healing factor and send it into another body, where for a little while we saw that some of it was going to Taskmaster, but after he was stopped and Logan's healing factor was still being drained, the trail of evidence led Wolverine to Dr. Murat, a scientist from Department H who stole a post-strand of the techno-organic virus to try and make a cure for his dying wife, who still died before there was anything he could do. But while working on this cure, he had no one to test it on but himself. And now he thought the solution to keeping the virus under control was Wolverine's healing factor, but he still loses control when he gets threatened, which is why when Wolverine came by threatening him to fix it, the doctor lost control and he transformed into this hulking post-like techno-organic creature. And now when Logan sees the doctor transform, he's like, I don't know exactly what he's become, but I know it's hostile. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a head full of memorized formulas and equations to help me make sense of what I'm seeing, but I do remember the fights I've been in. Before he flipped out, Moore mentioned infecting himself with the Post variant of the techno-organic virus I scrapped with a heavy hitter called Post years ago, Hulk-sized bruiser, who sprouted armor and weapons from his body. And now just based on the appearance of this thing that the doctor's turned into, that he's really only described as a biological weapon, with its appearance heavily resembling Post, for a moment Logan's thinking to himself, given his current condition, with him having next to no healing factor, if this thing that the doctor's turned into, if it's on the same level as Post, power-wise, then he's cooked, because without his healing factor he doesn't stand a chance here. But also Logan knows that's not just about him, because the doctor is not in control, which then makes him a danger to everyone else around him. Because as it would seem, this thing is only focused on self-preservation, so it's ready to eliminate anyone it sees as a threat, who in the here and now is Logan. But as Logan tries to find an opening for an attack, and he's got to gather himself for a moment, because without the healing factor, he can't just bounce back like he used to. And by the time he builds up enough strength to try to do something, it's too late, and that little bump of energy and strength that he has, he soon after has to use it on dodging the next attack. And when he does, Logan realizes something here, because when he survives this blast from like point-blank distance, Logan says to himself here that the only reason he wasn't killed is because Moore shifted his aim just a hair at the last second, which means that part of the doctor is still there. So trying to find a way to reason with Dr. Moore, that is the only chance that Logan has right now. So Logan tries to direct the doctor's attention to his late wife Tina and tell him like, hey, look at this place, look at what you're doing. And it works well enough to the point where enough of the doctor comes to the surface a bit, and it has him like, I have to get out of here, there's not much time left, I have to keep my promise. So he starts to leave, which on one hand is great, because now he's no longer trying to kill Logan. But on the other hand, when Logan sees this guy create an exit and make his way out through it, then it's like, wait a minute, where you going with my healing factor? Like, I'm gonna need that back. But also with Dr. Moore being known to cover his trail, and not to say that he did a great job of it, but just based on the fact that he did, who's to say how long it'll take Logan to find him again? Because chances are the doctor's gonna do a better job at covering his tracks next time around. So after the doctor leaves, there's kind of this now or never moment, with Logan not having any clue where the doctor's headed. So now he's got to hurry up and find some type of hint in this banged up apartment that'll give him an idea of where the doctor's going, because in just a matter of minutes, this place will be swarming with police. And I wouldn't even look at it in a way where it's like Logan doesn't want the police to find him here, but instead it's more like he wants to get moving before the police get involved, because they're just gonna slow him down, with their priority being the doctor, who's already a fugitive. So they're gonna take their time going through the apartment, taping things up, searching the place, doing forensics, and Logan just doesn't have time for that, because his healing factor, which is already low, it's still getting weaker and weaker. But fortunately his senses still work, and that's where his nose leads him to a picture of the doctor's late wife, with her standing at Mount St. Helens and the words written on it saying, promise you'll come next year. And the thing that led Logan's nose to this picture is the fact that the frame smells like it's been soaked in tears multiple times. And that had Logan thinking a couple things. Because for one, why was the doctor crying over this picture so much, more than any other? Then he remembers when the doctor said that he needed to keep a promise. And that's when Logan puts it together like the doctor has to be heading to Mount St. Helens to keep his promise. So after that, Logan gets up out of there quick, because the cops are coming a lot sooner than he expected. And now about an hour or so later when Logan gets to Mount St. Helens, using the same sky cycle that he had before, when he gets there, it doesn't take long for him to spot Dr. Moore. And it's funny because when he sees the doctor, he tries to tell him to stop, but he doesn't stop, he just keeps going. So it has Logan like, dang it, put this sky cycle in auto land, because now I gotta jump off this thing to catch the guy. Because Logan doesn't want to just jump off the sky cycle and not have a way out of here. But also when he does this and he lands on this guy, I can't help but to think that someone with the adamantium skeleton, or really any skeleton at that, but especially adamantium, falling from that high and tackling you, how does this guy not need a bacchiotomy? But hey, maybe the virus just has this guy extra durable. But nonetheless, much like before, this makes the bioweapon that's within the doctor want to come out. So the doctor tells Logan to take it easy, because he's doing everything he can to hold it back. But as we know, Logan's pissed, because this dude just straight up took his healing factor. And there's nothing more that Logan wants right now than for him to fix that. But Logan knows if he kills this guy, it's also over for him too. So he tells the doctor to start explaining from the beginning. And when he does, a lot of this is like what we talked about before. But now Dr. Moore is able to give a bit more detail. Because as a doctor, for years he's been an expert in nanotech. But when his wife fell ill with hematologic cancer, Dr. Moore just knew he could save her if he had access to the right resources, which is what then led him to Inspector Mehta and joining Department H. But from there, because he spent day and night poking around Department H's secret labs, when he found the post variant of the techno-organic virus, he thought he could reprogram it to attack his wife's cancer. And since he didn't have anyone to test it on, he tested it on himself. And when the virus started getting out of control, that's when the doctor realized only an advanced healing factor could keep it from taking over its host. And I mean, he could have stole someone's telekinesis, because that works too. But instead, this is where he made the device for Inspector Mehta that would induce a heart attack on Wolverine, the one we saw back in issue 15. But neither did the Inspector or Department H know that he was using this device to plant the nanites in Logan. And after that, with time running short, Dr. Moore reached out to Taskmaster after finding his mercenary profile on the dark web to get him to bring in Wolverine so the doctor could work with Logan directly. But also the doctor did this as a way to test out the micro teleportation receivers. And Taskmaster jumped on the opportunity. He was like, what? I get Wolverine's healing factor? That ain't no problem. Even if it was temporary. But tragically, the doctor's wife's cancer progressed faster than expected. And the doctor tells Logan that she died just this afternoon. And he wasn't even there to be with his wife in her last hour because he was so caught up in his elaborate plan. And now when Logan hears this tragic story, he's basically like, okay, yeah, whatever. How about getting my healing factor back? Because as we know, when Logan hears these sob stories, most of the time he's already made up his mind about the person before they even get started. But when Logan's like, let's get back to returning my healing factor, the doctor starts to tell him like it's simple. All he needs to do is reverse the receiver's frequency, but then Logan hears something. He's like, wait, hold that thought, doc. Just before the doctor gets beamed. And now this sound that Logan heard was the sound of some boot jets, because the person who blasted the doctor was none other than Vindicator, the gung-ho new leader of Alpha Flight, who's very much the shoot first and ask questions, maybe never type. And it's in this moment where Logan starts to realize how bad this is for him, because like Puck told him, this doctor's a fugitive. And he told Logan that Alpha Flight was heading to the States to grab this guy and take him in for stealing sensitive weapons tech. And all Logan needed was just a little bit more time with the guy, so the doctor could give his healing factor back. But now it's like so much for that, because Alpha Flight's here and they're ready to haul him off. And that's why Logan's like, Arsenal, what the hell have you done? And she's like, the name's Vindicator. Which right there, that exchange right there tells you what kind of person she is, with her being more concerned about her name than anything else that's going on. And because she came through here fists blazing, now she's caused the doctor to turn, which right away has the bioweapon making its exit. So quickly Vindicator tells Puck and Snowbird to detain Wolverine, while she goes after Dr. Moore with Marina. But now with Logan trying to help the doctor get away, to increase his chances of getting that time he needs with the doctor to get his healing factor back, this just leads to Vindicator firing at Wolverine multiple times, to the point where one of these blasts graze him. And now as Logan's down trying to catch his breath, he picks up the scent of molten rock, only for the temperature to shoot up. Then when the ground starts to rumble, Logan's like, wait, this is hardened lava. Then he tries to warn the others like, look out, the lava dome's about to blow. Just before the molten lava comes spewing out from below. And when this happens, it's like, it's all Vindicator's fault. Because had she been doing her job correctly, Alpha Flight could have just shown up and she'd be like, Dr. Moore, I'm gonna need you to come with us. Then from there, the doctor and Logan could explain the situation, but no. She had to go in there fist blazing, creating a whole new problem. And so now real quick, I'm gonna give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.